All right. Okay, so I'm here with Jeff Parker from OnSyte and Scott Forrester. Hey Scott, good to see you. All right, Jeff's going to explain here at Dayspring Senior Living at the Francis Elizabeth Huey residence how the wastewater treatment plant works with the OnSyte system. So we're going to start with the basics. So Jeff, tell me what we're looking at.
Okay. So right here you have a clean out. This comes out of the kitchen.
Okay.
Clean out feeds into your grease traps.
2 grease traps. Okay, 1 and 2.
And then it goes out to another clean out, which is if you have a clog out in the grease trap.
All right. So it would be for.
So this, from my understanding, this was a 4-inch line. This is a 3-inch, but I think it's 4-inch under the ground.
Okay.
It turns.
All right. So it's going to turn all the way down here. All right. So we're heading on down here.
Somewhere in here it meets a 6-inch line, which is your main line coming out of the building other than the kitchen.
Okay.
So that's the 6-inch clean out.
The 6-inch clean out.
And right in here they come together.
Okay.
And then they go this way.
Okay.
Where they hit our tank, which is sitting approximately right here. That's the end of it, and there's another. The other end of it's probably somewhere around this plant.
Okay, so this is where the OnSyte system picks up?
Well, this is technically just a pump tank.
Pump tank?
So it really has nothing to do with our system. All that happens is since our system's uphill, we have to pump from a low area to a higher area.
Okay, so when you say a pump tank, there's an actual pump inside this tank?
2 pumps. You have 2 pumps. They alternate. If one goes out, the alarm will go off, letting us know one pump is not good, but you still have another pump as a backup.
Okay, so are these 1-horse pump, 2-horse pump? What kind of pumps are they?
I believe there's 2. I don't remember.
Okay, all right. So we're going to find out. Huh?
It's been a few weeks. I have to go back and look at what we brought down.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're 4/10 horse, but I'm not positive.
4/10 of a horse?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And so life expectancy on the pumps while they're running, maybe they're going to run for about a year? 7 years, you think?
Up to 5 to 7.
5 to 7 years, okay. So the kinds of problems you might see that would cause them to fail or, start to deteriorate, what do you think would things that we might see? Would it be seepage coming out of the lid over here? Is that something that we would need to look for?
When they fail, like I said, when one of them fails, you'll get an alarm on the box down on the wall, and at that point you know that one of the pumps is out and the other will do all the work.
Okay.
So you really should never have an issue with this overflowing.
Okay.
Unless you just ignore the alarm, turn it off. Now that alarm that monitors this, I can't see from our portal.
Okay.
So this is basically strictly these guys are going to have to, if they hear that alarm go off, they need to let me know, and at that point, I guess Jeff and I will get together and figure out what we need to do next.
Gotcha. Okay. So if the alarm goes off, what number do they call?
I just gave him my card, so he would call me directly.
And Jeff, what's the number?
470-717-2809.
All right. Can you repeat that number again?
470-717-2809.
Okay. And so if the alarm goes off, they need to call. How quickly should they call?
As soon as they can. I mean, I'm 5 hours away, so
Okay.
give me a time to get down. But like I said, you have another pump. And then you also have some residual room in the tank that would be for backup space too. So there's really not a huge rush, but he needs to call me as soon as he can so I can make sure we've got another pump ready to go and head down.
Gotcha. Okay, so in terms of turnaround time on how long it's going to take, you think, to get the pump changed out, turned around, are these?
I can change out the pump in a matter of less than an hour.
Okay, and then the pumps are typically, these are specialty order type pumps,
No,
you think?
in stock. So I should have one on the shelf.
Should have one on the shelf, so then we should be ready to go. Okay, so kinds of things that might result in damage to the lids. Weed eaters, lawnmowers.
Looks like you're going to have an issue here. So.
Okay, so I bet weed eaters are a caution point.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully you wouldn't have any weed eaters up here either. But yeah, a string trimmer is not going to really hurt it. You're going to knock the paint off, but that's about it.
Okay, anything else?
Pretty solid. I mean,
okay.
I don't know how much but these are domed.
Okay.
So they're made to drive over. Obviously, that one down there was damaged.
Okay.
It got hit by the fork on a bucket.
Gotcha.
But once the construction's done, a lawnmower blade's the only thing that can really damage them.
Gotcha. All right, let's go on. Let's go on to the next part, and we're going down here to the fancy part at the end of the walkway.
Fancy part.
Yeah, got all the alligator bumps. My wife Janet painted these all brown for you.
I'm going to paint one more because I brought one for the damaged one to replace it.
Gotcha.
This has got to be touched up a little bit. But so this is what we call our trash tank.
Okay, this is the trash tank.
Everything feeds into here and it gives it time to settle.
Okay.
You're probably going to want to keep an eye on this one maybe every, I mean, depending on how bad it gets used, you may have to pump it once a year, once every 3 years. I don't know. Depends on how well it's taken care of from the inside.
But we take care of that through our contract.
But yeah, for that first however long the contract, 2 years
Yeah,
or whatever.
our 5-year contract.
Oh, 5 years, okay.
Okay, so tell me how that works. Is that,
We'll basically monitor this as we do our monthly sampling.
okay,
And if it needs to be pumped out, we would bring a pump truck in, they park right here. They just basically clean it completely dry, and then that buys us more time for more solids and stuff to settle.
Okay.
This is just for settling.
this is for settling. So
Correct.
solids are going to go into this tank.
Anything that gets through there is going to get ground up, it's going to get pumped into here.
Okay, and
And
it's,
it's going to settle to the bottom. And then some solids float.
okay, and then so it'll kind of, the bacteria will kind of do its thing in here.
Correct.
Okay, all right. And then if it gets, you guys will kind of basically make sure it gets pumped out. Scott, you guys will come over here and,
Yes, we will monitor this.
You
We
guys-
come out once a month to test anyway, so while we're here, we'll check this, make sure everything in it's working or looking good and whether it needs to be pumped. So
perfect.
this is just an empty tank really.
Gotcha.
From here it gravity feeds.
Okay, gravity feeds. Okay, we're over here to lid number 2,
So this is what we call our dosing tank.
our dosing tank.
Our dosing tank basically holds certain amounts of liquid. We can set that amount anywhere from 100 to 1,000 gallons to a batch size. It's actually a 2,500 gallon tank. So the way we have it set is at 100 gallons, it'll tell our system we have 100 gallons that needs to be processed. It'll pump it over into our reactor. Our reactor will do all of its work while this is filling back up. When the reactor finishes, it looks to see if another 100 gallons is ready, or 400, all the way up to 1,000 gallons. So if you had a large amount of flow, it would pull 1,000 over. If it's just a small flow, it'll pull it over 100 at a time.
Okay, all right. So,
We call those batches.
okay, and so is there, we've got a pump inside here.
There is a pump inside here.
How many? You got 1 or 2 pumps?
Man, it's been a while since I did this one. I'm pretty sure this one's a dual as well, but I'm not positive.
Okay, all right. So can you send us some details on it? Because we'd like to know if we got 1 or 2 pumps.
Okay.
And you think less than a horse pump, small
Yeah,
pump?
that would be the same. I mean, this is basically, at this point, it's just about liquid.
Okay,
With some small particulates. So at that point, it's a very easy pump over. It also has the ability to gravity feed out of here if for some reason pumps were to go down, power to go out, which I know you guys have a generator, but the way our systems are built for places that don't have generators, power goes out, it turns into a giant septic tank is all it does.
Okay.
Whenever the power comes back on, everything starts right back up.
gotcha. Okay, so this, if the pumps went out here, alarm goes off again?
We get an alarm, I get an email alarm, I get a text alarm, and then that box that's lower on the wall is actually what controls all of this.
Okay,
The alarm on it.
so the box that's higher,
That feeds the pump tank all the way down there.
okay, and then the box that's lower is,
That's our controls. Everything in there is what sends us signals where I can see exactly what's happening with the system in real time.
okay, so that's communicating to you.
Correct.
That's sending it over to the Parker control panel and keep